here to take sides. Mladic is a war criminal, the leader of the Bosnian Serbs. He is no better than Himmler. He is no better than Goebbels. He is a war criminal.
I was suggesting we bomb Belgrade.
What's so important about the Western Alliance? NATO for NATO's sake, so we can beat our press? What I'm about to say is going to cause me great difficulty if I'm reelected and come back here as the ranking member or chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. There is no moral center in Europe.
I was suggesting that we send American pilots in and blow up all the bridges on the Drina.
When in the last 2 centuries have the French, or the British, or the Germans, the Belgians, the Italians?
I was suggesting we take out his oil supplies.
Moved in a way to unify that continent, to stand up to this kind of genocide. When have they done this?
I was suggesting very specific action.
The only reason anything is happening now is because the United States of America finally is understanding her role. The 21st century is going to be the American century. Because we never bow, we never bend, we never break. We are America, second to none, and we own the finish line. Don't forget it.
We own that finish line, ladies and gentlemen. No one else, okay? There's a reason I start with that, because it gets me pumped, for one. But we don't bow, we don't bend, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, what's up? How are we doing today, guys? I think I like that being my intro. What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Here, I'll get some background music to play while I fiddle with stuff. Anyways, how are we doing today, guys? I hope we are doing well. It's a beautiful day out here in Kansas. It is currently the date of April 5th, 2025, 10:17 a.m. I hope we're doing well. Whoa, this is not what I clicked on, buddy. I don't need to know. I don't need to know how good Front Mission 4 is. I already know how good Front Mission 4 is, okay? I already know it. I already know it. Anyways, what's the date? Or not the date. It's Sunday. I didn't realize it was Sunday. That's not good. Anyways, let me get this music started and we'll get started on some Minecraft, get started on some videos. Get excited. We have that video Asmongold was watching yesterday to review. I mean, he basically stole the video already, but we have some of that to watch. Gosh, how can you not? I already said the date. Well, I'm going to say it again. You know what? We're bringing the double date. We're doing a double date today. What's up, Bill? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Hold on, let me turn up the music. A little bit, just a hair. Just a hair. Only 5 days away from our members only episode, so pretty excited for that. Alright, there we go. Now I'd say it's a good volume. Anyways, what's going on in the world? What's going on in the world? I'm just taking my first foray. Let's look at the Associated Press, see what they got going for us. Good news, we have finally found our pilot that was missing. So it's a good thing they're not going to be tortured to death, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good thing they're not going to be propaganda for the Iranian people. But I ask yet again, what is the purpose of this war? Anyways, I don't understand it. It feels like our war goals are ever shifting still. We're a month in and our war goals are ever shifting. Think about that. This is such a This is just not very well planned, ladies and gentlemen. Not very well planned at all. Am I in Discord? Yeah, I'm in Discord right now. Bet. With that being said, I think we can switch over. Ladies and gentlemen. Let me just get this browser up and we'll get going. But yeah, this is big news, in my opinion. This is absolutely huge news. We got our pilot. I was afraid that Iran was going to capture our pilot and we would see a video of them being tortured. But it's a good thing that that did not come to fruition. It is a very good thing that What is this image? Oh, that's Kayla. Hey, shout out, Kayla. Anyways. Actually, let me bring you guys to Minecraft real quick, actually, because I've made some improvements. Alright? So, right off the bat, we've got a nice little farm area here. You guys take a look. We got a beautiful little farm area right here. We're going to be growing some crops. Underground, of course. Only way to really go. And this is my chest of useless stuff so far. It's gotten pretty expansive. It's supposed to be for food, but that's alright. That's about all I've really done so far. I died a couple times to a skeleton. But it was a mutated skeleton. It wasn't just no normal skeleton, okay? This thing was mutated. It was shooting spider webs everywhere at me. It was a mess. It was a mess. It was crazy. It was crazy. It is a great thing and something to be proud of. Y'all will go through hell and back for your own. Who else can say the same? Was great news to see this morning. I agree. That, Bill, that was a test message that I sent on, my stream. No, yeah, I think it's badass that we will go to the furthest extent to get our fallen brethren. But I think this war is still very kind of toxic. Sorry, I'm focusing on Minecraft right now. I apologize. I think this war, the war goals are still very unclear. But yeah, I'm very proud of my military. I think they're the most badass in the world. This is where I'll be making my home. Or my room, okay? I think this is a good place. I'm gonna have a little window right there. It's gonna be great. But besides that, I don't really think I've done too much. So we can get back to the news. I did want to watch this dude right here. No cap on God. So this 50-year-old who's trying to be 30 essentially went out to a No Kings protest or something like that and asked a bunch of silly questions that protesters agreed to. Oh my God, can you believe it? Open up the gaze of Hormuz. Wow, man. Get it? Because it's straight, and straight is the opposite of gay? Yeah, man. I know. They're really thinking with their brains over there at No Cap on God. So we're gonna watch that. But first I want to absolutely decimate this little bit of stone right here, okay? It's pissing me off. You see how it was looking at me earlier? I don't think that should be allowed. Anyways, thank you guys so much for liking the video. I really appreciate that. Honestly, guys, I'll be honest. When I was away, I've kind of been Minecrafting it up, so Like, what the hell is that noise? Oh, there's an elephant right in front of me. Well, means we can't go outside for a little bit. That's alright. That's alright. Anyways, let's watch this video and just see how the propaganda is doing for the right. Let's take a look-see here. Let me switch over. Let's take a look-see.
A bit homophobic that we're so focused on the straights of Hormuz and not the gays of Hormuz.
I agree.
Oh my god! Oh my god! He got her to agree to something that isn't true! Why does this man look like, you know, he would leave a note? He would leave a note in your locker. You know what I'm saying? If you were his friend, he'd leave a note.
I agree. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Why do you think they're willing to leave the gays of Hormuz behind?
I think it's just historically, like, you know, gays have always been very discriminated against, which is wrong on so many levels.
Even in war.
Yeah, even in war, and it just takes, I think, more, what is it, like more reform in government, obviously, and then.
Dude, look, she obviously realizes, like, you're being an antagonist. What
So, in society,
I just feel like
I mean, and all they
could.
could really get was an 11-minute video. You know what I'm saying? They must have had a lot of bad interactions, because most people can get a 30-minute video out of this type of stuff.
Gay people behind. I don't think we should go into that at all, but if we're going to, the gays of Hormuz, we could turn it into Fire Island.
for sure, for sure.
So we are here with the communists who don't support the Democrats either. We're going to find out some important questions about communism.
Communism means for the working class is organized against the Epstein class.
Do you think the communists are more or less open to?
With the US disaster, we asked a man with the Iranian flag for advice.
I think America hates them because Iran is so feminist.
Oh, yeah?
They are so good.
Oh, yeah.
There's no better place to be a woman than Iran compared to here.
Correct,
Because the rights we're taking away.
Exactly.
Do you hope that one day the United States is having a system like Cuba?
No, I hope so.
Do you think the Iranians maintain such good women and LGBT rights as well?
Well, they have a good leader, Ayatollah, or yeah.
Oh, that's insane. Yeah, I don't agree with that, but you're at a fucking protest, man. Like, people, the feelings are high, you know, the patriotic fervor is there. Even if it's not patriotic towards America, they're still they're still being patriotic because they are, you know, protesting their government. That's one of the most patriotic things you can do, man. Dude, I really don't like the noises this guy is making. You gotta stop, man. You gotta stop with that.
He's very pro-LGBT. They said he wants the next Ayatollah to queen out.
Be a woman.
No, a guy, but he's a queen.
Oh.
Like a gay guy. They wanted a gay guy to be in charge, yeah.
Who cares?
It's actually because Prophet Muhammad actually
Oh.
had a lot of gay friends.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Freeze the gays of Hormuz! Freeze the gays of Hormuz!
The gays will refuse to let themselves be
Yeah.
left behind here or in the Strait of Hormuz.
We are
There
fighting
we
gays of
go.
Hormuz Right now.
Okay,
You know?
respect them.
You know?
If they need us to fight for them, I'm with it.
Gays of Hormuz are being attacked.
That's not cool.
Yeah, not good.
I'm a straight guy, but that's not cool.
Yeah, they're going for the Straits of Hormuz, but they're not willing to protect the gays of Hormuz.
You see, I'm a straight guy. I got my ally. man.
Fucking ally, dude.
Have you ever seen, what do you think when you do see a
Want to see it?
Yeah.
No, never seen one other than my own.
What did people think of the persecutors of the gays of Hormuz?
Like, why is this guy asking when they see penis? That's a weird question, bro. Like, even in terms of the meme, that's just a weird question to ask.
Would we send Baron Trump to suicide bomb in Iran?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I mean, like, send them to the front lines.
Yeah, what about Don Jr. and Eric to the front lines?
Send them to the front lines. No gear, nothing, completely naked. Let them fight the wars they want to start.
The elephant, the ass, overthrow the Epstein class.
What do you think of people here who are still pros?
Whoa, I agree. Fuck the elephant, dude. This goddamn elephant is annoying the shit out of me. I agree with her. Fuck that elephant, bro. If I was powerful enough, I would kill it, but I'm not that strong. Maybe at some point we can kill the elephant. I guess my biggest issue is it does have a traveling merchant on it, and I don't really want to kill the merchant, but it is a bit of a problem. Oh, I went mining too. But that's kind of implied. I mean, the name of the game is Minecraft. Come on.
Democrats. Is the Democrats left shock enough?
No.
Who's first in the guillotines? That's what I want to know.
I mean, it's got to be the man himself.
It's got to be Trump. I think Stephen Miller number 2.
But I mean, the only thing is, like, I wouldn't mind if the guillotine was a little duller.
Yeah,
You know,
a few tries,
so maybe,
you know.
maybe Stephen Miller.
We
then
warm it up with
Steve
Stephen Miller,
Bannon.
G80
Yeah,
Vance.
so get it dull. And
Can we throw in Ivanka?
Oh, Ivanka.
I just-
I would like to give her. Melania, I'm okay. But like, Ivanka.
Melania will guillotine.
Yes.
Yeah. But Eric and Donald, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Eric and Donald, you believe in the non-violence.
Yes.
For you, they are protesting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Gay rights are everything right now.
100%. Let the people live.
Yeah. How is
See, it's so weird because, like, I don't think the guillotine, pointing out the guillotine woman is advantageous because what were they saying on? Dude, shut the fuck up. I'm trying to have a fucking stream. Dude, I'm trying to have a fucking stream right now. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I get it. I get it, bud. Don't even understand what's going on. Jesus, man. Some people. Anyways, as I was saying, I don't think the guillotine is something you quite want to talk about because I remember Mike Pence was being threatened with a guillotine. Oh no, it was gallows. It was gallows. My bad. You're right. You're right.
Trump abolishing them?
Abolishing our rights?
The gay rights. Yeah.
I mean, he just said it the other day, but he, yeah, I mean, he doesn't care.
You an ally to LGBT?
If LGBTQ is an ally of America and family, I am constitutionally bound to support that.
And what goes through your mind when you do see a as a straight
When I see a what?
as a straight guy? Yeah.
I only like looking at my own or when I'm cleaning my son's.
We have bottom.
That's Stephen Miller.
Yeah, he's a bottom for sure. We have top. He's a top. And we also have bottom as well. What do you think of Aussius?
I don't know. It's New York. Everybody does whatever.
Will there be a nuclear deal? Will the strait be opened anytime soon? If you want to profit off of all the problems that are going on in the world.
Oh, wow. What a fucking little scumbag. Oh, by the way, this is sponsored by a prediction market, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most scummy businesses right now is sponsoring this. That's how you know it's fucking propaganda, bro. Why is it that the prediction markets always sponsor propaganda? We have Polymarket with Nick Shirley, and now we have Kalshi with this propagandist.
Charging Maduro, but they're protesting against the white people.
Kelsey Rodriguez has a 67% chance on Couchy to win. Are you on this side or are you on the side of the big booty Latinas?
Why do you think Trump's willing to leave behind the gays of Hormuz?
Dude, Trump is. Oh, goodness. Fucking. Oh, don't even get me talking about that.
Booty Latinas.
Why do you think Trump's willing to leave behind the gays of
67% chance.
Wow. Wow, that is so sad. Yeah, guys, you can bet on the future of a country right now. Get fucking excited. Fucking crooks, bro. Hey, what's up, Mr. Twink?
Why do you think Trump's willing to leave behind the gays of Hormuz?
Dude, Trump is. Oh, goodness. Fucking. Oh, don't even get me talking about that guy. That guy's a piece of shit.
Like, why do you think he's so after the Straits of Hormuz and not the gays?
Oh, yeah. Dude, I have no idea how that guy's brain works. He's like a chicken brain, right? So they say chickens are like a small brain.
Strait of Hormuz?
Oh, am I worried about it?
Yeah.
Hell no, let the prices go up. Maybe these people,
yeah.
you know, they think that they want to drive their cars and luxury and all this stuff. Let them feel some pain. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they blow it up. I mean, any ship that goes there that's U.S.
They
related.
blow up the U.S. ships trying to protect
exactly.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we need Iran to stop our pillage agenda, even if it means getting our soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he lives in America, so he has the right to fucking feel that way, bro. I disagree with him, but he has the right to feel that way.
I agree.
Thinking of all the young cock we would lose made me want to find.
Bro, this is so weird. He's always talking about dick and cock. Like, what's going on here, man? Let me see here. Chickens are not dumb. They are very smart. Yeah, they can run around with their head cut off, man. Think about that. They gotta have some strong neurofiber for that one.
Sometimes the liberal guys need the aggression of the closeted conservative guys.
I think that,
A little bit.
yes, any rage that we can take away from ourselves and put towards fighting for democracy in our country is a good thing. So if the closeted, grinder crashing Republicans
Oh
want to
my
our
God.
side, I'm going to fight for their rights too.
Still fuck down Trump all day.
But how can I get a black boyfriend?
Hey, yo, you can go down to 10th Ave. Hell's Kitchen.
Bro, what a weirdo. What an actual fucking weirdo. Like, excuse me? What did you just say?
I ain't getting nothing.
And I'll get dressed up as sharks together.
Oh, yeah!
And then I'll be a little fishy.
Oh!
And then you can eat me.
Okay.
Yeah, what a weirdo. What an actual weirdo. There's a fish that also is self-aware. It can recognize itself in the mirror. That's interesting.
Can I even be a queen? Spit and show me what you got.
Bro, he's so not funny. God, bro. This is just a cringe fest.
Burning Man was established on the fact that we all come in with nothing, and we leave with nothing.
And so true of life as well.
Well, that's what Burning Man is. It's about, it reflects life.
I look at the world and I look at the leaves, and I go on the subway and I look at the tracks, and I go, and when I put on my jeans, I zip my zipper, and when I put on my shoes, I tie my shoes. And all this time I wonder, where do they move all of the trash?
Apparently supporting the gays.
Bro, what the fuck does that even mean? Oh, they got a right-wing troll here. Let's go. I'm glad they're pointing these people out. This man is an antagonizer.
Moves is right wing.
You feel silly doing what you're doing. You're not the police. Go home. You having a nice time today? I'm not really for right now. Oh, wow, yeah, well, I'm not up for getting followed and a sign pointed at me. Trying to meet some hard living guys.
Oh, wow. I'm not ready. I'm not down for a sign to be pointed at me. Meanwhile, he's harassing people at a protest. Wow. What a soy loser, honestly. Big soy in this guy. No, I don't want to be followed around with the camera. But I'll follow other people around with a camera.
The community free speech monitor had broken my spirit, so I headed to the Venezuela protest.
What happened? What happened, comrade?
We don't play that shit.
Was that a white supremacist?
Stay the fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Venezuelans are traitors.
Now, who is this guy? Is this guy like a clone of the original dude? Honestly, his features are a lot less pronounced, so I kind of feel like it's a clone. Definitely a clone right here.
I'm saying the Venezuelans over there are traitors. I'm supporting the movement. What's a country whose political system you'd like to see ours have? What's a country whose political system you'd like to see in America?
I think China has a pretty good political system. And I think, they all have healthcare, they have housing, they have education. We right now are struggling.
Do you worry about, are you willing to sacrifice some democracy for that?
I mean, I think we sacrifice democracy here, right? We have activists who are getting arrested, activists who are getting killed just for speaking out. I don't think that's a pretty democratic system at all.
Well, this woman is not right. She is wrong. Does that represent every leftist though? Probably not. Probably not.
Would you ever date a guy if he was a capitalist?
The thing is, I'm a lesbian.
Tell us why you love big booty Latinas.
Well, because, listen, Latinas are super sexy, right? You white boys, you like Latinas. Colombia is Venezuela, so I welcome you guys. When Venezuela is free, go visit Venezuela. You'll get a big booty Latina.
God forbid a white boy gets emotion, am I right? Would you be okay with the U.S. taking half the oil?
I mean, they're doing business right now. I don't think they're taking it. They're paying. And also, that oil is being used to support the oppressive regimes in Cuba, the oppressive regime in Iran. I mean, there's nothing done here. They're all oppressive regimes.
What advice do you have for dating a Latina?
You have to be patient. You have to be patient. You have to let her get mad.
Do you think the U.S. is afraid that people will see that?
Yeah, like this is just weird, bro. These guys are creepy. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. These guys are really creepy. I would not want to be around these people. They seem very, maladjusted, I guess would be the best word. It seems like they're missing a couple societal keys.
That Venezuela is actually a better system than we have?
Well, I think for sure. Many people have said, if the Cuban system is so bad, why doesn't the U.S. just leave it alone? If socialism is going to fail, leave the Cubans alone.
I have my corporate job, but, you have to pay $16 for sweet greens just to get a fresh salad when the government could just be giving us salad.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways in which the government could support working people.
Wow. Honestly, that video sucked. Can I just be honest? What else do these guys make? Oh, wow. Who would have guessed, ladies and gentlemen? Who would have guessed? It's, they're a fucking... Oh, wow. Why did Asmongold... Wait, what? Hold on. Why was Asmongold's thing popping up there? Hold on. What? Because Asmongold reacted to this, so if it was a channel owned by Asmongold, that would be pretty disingenuous from him, huh? No. Subscribe for real journalism? I'm gonna be honest, guys. I would not recommend subscribing to this channel. Like, look at this. I sang WAP at a nursing home. Wow, man. WAP. By the way, WAP. How old is the WAP meme? And they're just now getting into it? Very interesting. Yep. It looks like these guys are just fucking propagandists, unfortunately. We explore the comedic cultures happening of America. Join us on our absurd... Here, let me do his voice. Join us on our absurd adventure as we explore comedic culture happenings of America. More content on patreon.com. Hosted by Lincoln McGloin. McGloin? That's not a word, bro. That's not a last name. I'm sorry. So anyways, fuck these losers. I hope they get their toes stepped on. Anyways, so so I wanted to provide an alternative to this, right? So you see how these guys aren't very funny? Nobody really laughed at them. I mean, personally, I didn't belly laugh at any of their jokes. Now let me show you a channel that does this and actually does it well. The Good Liars. You started sounding like Arnold and then started sounding Scottish. Here, let me try it again. Join our absurd as we explore comedic culture happenings in America. I don't know, man. That's Europe, you know, Europe's its own battle. But they got a fucking interview with Greg Bavino. They got an interview with the Bavino himself.
A job and your first and last name, please.
Well, sure, it's Gregory Bavino. Previous job was Chief Patrol Agent, U.S. Border Patrol.
What's your job now?
And how long were you working there at ICE?
Approximately 30 years.
All right, thank you so much for talking with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I love that he fucking leaned down.
All right, so that was my interview with Greg Bavino. We are here at CPAC in Dallas, Texas, the biggest...
God, these guys really are showing these fools how it's done. He only did a 9-minute video, although this is a part 1. Like, no cap on God, take some fucking notes, buddy.
Gathering of the year. It's hell. And we're going to walk around hell today and see what people have to say about Donald Trump and everything else going on right now. How would you rate Donald Trump's job thus far?
I give him a 9.
9 out of?
10.
10?
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect 10. What don't you like that he's done?
I don't like the war part.
What does that hat mean?
Trump was right about everything.
Oh my God. I don't like one of the major things he's doing right now. Oh, but you still support him? Yeah.
Everything that he predicts seems to come true. Everything he talks about that he's going to do seems to come true.
Did he end the war in Ukraine on the first day?
No. But
Are gas prices lower than they were when he was inaugurated?
they were tons lower just a little bit ago, yes.
Well,
Just a little bit ago. Now they're not.
$3.98 a gallon.
Yeah.
For a little bit. We can't be panicans. It's just going to be for a little bit.
Do you think Trump was right about everything?
Yep.
How would you rate the job Donald Trump has done thus far in his second term?
Outstanding. It's interesting with Donald Trump because you sit there, and this has been true throughout, even in his first term. You question what he's doing, but in the end you go, geez, that made perfect sense.
Interesting.
Would you like to see Donald Trump run for president in 2028?
Well, I'm not good on the whole third term, but I can see him running.
Oh. Well, that's not good.
It is against the Constitution.
I just think he's probably going. I think he's just doing that to get a rise out of people.
Oh, wow. Great. That's what we like when our president to do, right, guys?
I will say this, I play that superhero. I played the superhero on television, but you play him in real life because of what you do. And President Trump said this, I think, yesterday. The news isn't giving news. They're not reporting facts. They're propagandizing. So I'm a huge fan of yours. Thank you for being a superhero in real life.
He's just doing it to get a rise.
Wait, who is that?
And
who is that?
For being a superhero in real life.
He's just doing it to get.
I am late. I can see we got some new people in here. Yes, ma'am. We sure do.
Get a rise out of people. And why would he do that?
Because the way they react, you know, it just shows how childish some people act in our media. Everything's great outrage and everything's the end of the world. Why?
It's childish when the president of the United States says he's going to run for a third term, which is unconstitutional, and then people react worried about that the president's going to break the Constitution. That's the childish, the people reacting to it?
Just the way that they're reacting about it. When they know he's pulling their leg, he ain't going to.
But what if they don't know that?
Just, you know, he's doing the Trump
Yeah.
thing, which always seems to work.
But if he does run, would you vote for him?
If he does run, I'd vote for him. But
But it is against the Constitution.
Bro. He just said he's okay with Donald Trump breaking the Constitution. What are we doing? I say this is a lot more effective because these actually, you can tell these people believe what they're saying. Not just getting some fucking random clip.
it is against the Constitution, but I really don't think he's going to run. Okay. I really think he's just.
But if he ran and it was against the Constitution, you would still vote for him?
At this point, yeah.
Why do you think
Bro!
the release of the Epstein files?
One of the things that you'll find is that he's fought the release of a number of things that turned out to be nothing, and I think it's more of a principle than it is anything else. It's like
What's another example of that?
tax records. I mean, you know,
his tax returns?
His tax returns and everything else.
But he had to show those.
Wait a second, that doesn't make sense. Those are his tax returns that he was fighting. It wasn't like he was like keeping anyone else safe but himself, right?
Well, actually, it's a matter of principle. Once you release his, what do you do with everybody else's?
And every major political party's candidate, you know,
It's a good
for a
question,
very long
man.
time, decades, has released their tax returns.
It's a matter of personal choice. And so he said no.
One of the top Google searches of 2026 is Donald Trump and another famous person. Do you have any guess who that is?
Not a clue.
No idea? Very, very famous person, really in the news. Want to take a guess?
Got me.
No? So this is Donald Trump.
It's Jeffrey Epstein.
And Donald Trump.
Oh, there he is! Did you look at the music that I told you to check out yesterday? I listened to a little bit of Linkin Park yesterday. I was not able to listen to all of it, though, Kayla. I apologize.
Jeffrey Epstein. That's one of the most Googled things.
You know, when they started demonizing law enforcement, I joined the police. Defund the police, I joined the police. Defund ICE, I joined ICE.
What are your thoughts on ICE?
Oh, I love ICE. They're doing the job. That
I
everybody else
love
wants to
ICE,
do.
guys.
I think.
They killed 2 citizens in Minnesota. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, the one hit him with a car.
You all excited to be here at CPAC?
Absolutely.
How would you rate Donald Trump's job thus far?
100%. Absolutely.
Dude.
What's his greatest accomplishment thus far?
Inspiring the next generation.
Would you like to see ICE at polling places?
Well, yeah. If
Yeah.
illegals ain't voting, why are you worried about it?
Well, some citizens might be worried just because of the people that got shot in Minnesota that maybe they would, shoot them.
But they're taking a small situation out of a bigger situation.
I got off the phone today with my sister and my dad's side of the family, and she's actually shocked of all the time that all the changes I've been through because of my hormone replacement. Well, I hope you had a good conversation, Kayla.
Situation.
As you sit there and you go, oh, why is he doing that? You kind of go, well, let me think this out. You have to do some critical thinking in order to realize what's happening. And that's actually one of the biggest problems. We live in a world of sound bites.
But would critical thinking be thinking about it, seeing he was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, thinking there might be some embarrassing things about Donald Trump in there, and then Donald Trump decides, I don't want to release those? Wouldn't that just be like the critical thinking?
I guess it could be.
Donald Trump in 2020 wished Ghislaine Maxwell well at a press conference. Why do you
I wish her well. I wish her well. Who will forget that line? I wish her well.
think he was wishing?
He loves ICE
a
until
sex
he's the one
criminal
getting
well?
deported or shot.
Now I'm not
Amen.
really for sure on. I think maybe he's just trying to be a decent human being, even though she's a piece of trash and deserves to be right where she's at.
But he's called Democrats enemies of the people. He said, I hate Democrats, but Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald Trump said, I wish you well.
Well, if you look at what, the Russian lie, they knew
Wow,
from
okay.
day one it was a lie.
I'm just saying he doesn't have a problem, people who he views as bad with saying that they're terrible, but he's wishing convicted sex criminal well. Is that not odd?
That's kind of off, but,
Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison, and a lot of people want to know if she's going to turn in powerful people. And I know you've talked in the past about Prince Andrew, and you've criticized Bill Clinton's behavior. I'm wondering, do you feel that she's going to turn in powerful men? How do you see that working out?
I don't know. I haven't really been following it too much. I just wish her well, frankly. I've met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach, and I guess they lived in Palm Beach. But I wish her well.
I'm going to ask you to put on your critical thinking hat one more time. 2020 press conference. Donald Trump is asked about Ghislaine Maxwell. He says, I wish her well. I wish her well. And then he said again, but I wish her well. That's convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell. Why do you think he was wishing convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell well?
Probably because he had nothing else to say at that particular point in time.
Wow.
What are you going to say, rotten hell?
I mean,
yes.
He says Democrats are enemies of the people. He hates them. Ghislaine Maxwell, sex trafficker, he says, I wish you well.
And if you've ever noticed anything with Donald Trump, he generally speaks in general terms like Democrats are traitors. He doesn't sit there and say Schumer is a traitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't get specific. He doesn't.
Well, he specifically wished convicted sex trafficker Ghislaine Maxwell well.
About her, and so he gave a nice general answer.
If Trump pardoned Ghislaine Maxwell, would you still support him?
No.
No?
No. Yeah.
That's a red line for you.
Yeah, if he supports, they know she's guilty, hands down guilty. No, you can't let people like that. She don't deserve a jail cell. She deserves something more than that because of the women and,
Amen.
stuff that she did. She deserves to be exactly where she's at.
If Donald Trump pardoned Ghislaine Maxwell, would you still support him?
I really don't think I'd care.
Oh. That one was hard. I don't think I'd care, guys. I wouldn't care. Yeah, that one was tough to watch. Ooh. So, no cap on God, if you're watching this. If by somehow you fall upon this video, take some notes, buddy. Take some notes. Anyways, let's see what's happening in the world. Let's see what's happening in the world right now, guys.
So you gotta put these teachers in jail for child.
Oh, Jesus, shut the fuck up, Asman. I know you're a fucking homophobic bigot. Did he trim some out of his, I don't know, maybe I'm tripping. The AI just leaked its own code? Oh! Fuck it, we need to listen to Leader Jeffries right now. We haven't heard from him in a minute.
Now we want to bring in Democratic Leader of the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries. Congressman, thank you for joining us this morning. Your reaction to these developments overnight?
Well, I'm thankful
Based King. Amen. Look at this Based King. I mean, come on. How can you not think that this man, I mean, he's stacked. You know what I'm saying? All right, is that fucking elephant gone? Jesus, bro, get out of here. Nobody wants you. I'm not buying any of your trinkets. Shut up. Do I have to buy something from you and you'll go the fuck away? Well, I can't even reach the top of you, so that's a bit of an issue.
U.S. airmen has been rescued heroically by our special forces, and we, of course, continue to pray
Space
for the
King.
safety, the health, the well-being of all of our men and women who
Space King is a funny animation. I can't lie.
are in uniform in a very dangerous theater of war. Of course, Donald Trump has gotten us involved in this reckless war of choice without any plan, any strategic objectives, and no clear exit strategy. Instead, billions of dollars are being spent every day to drop bombs in the Middle East when Donald Trump, as a candidate, promised to never get us involved in this type of conflict.
So you've made it clear you're opposed to the war, but what should the exit strategy be right now?
Well, that's the challenge that of course, Donald Trump has gotten us into this reckless war of choice without ever clearly laying out the strategic objectives, the plan, how this is designed to actually make life better for the American people. We've seen the exact opposite, particularly as it relates to the dramatic increase in gas prices when we already are dealing with an affordability crisis here in the United States of America. Donald Trump purported to deliver a speech to lay out a case to the American people a few days ago, but he failed dramatically.
He is expanding. He's threatening this morning to expand again. He says the Iranians are going to be living in hell if they don't open up the Strait of Hormuz by Tuesday. Is that possible without U.S. ground troops?
Well, certainly there's no circumstance where U.S. ground troops should be sent over to the Middle East. This war is already deeply unpopular for obvious reasons amongst the American people, and the American people are not going to accept ground troops being put into harm's way in this war of choice when there's no clear evidence that it actually is designed to improve our national security interests. Instead, we see a war that continues to escalate. More than a dozen countries are involved, and billions of dollars of taxpayer money are being spent overseas when this administration refuses to actually spend a dime to make life more affordable for the American people.
And the president has sent a request for $200 billion in supplemental spending to the Defense Department as well. It's pretty clear Democrats
yeah, my
oppose that, and
sister
we're concerned that that will undercut the war.
had always and always will support me. The reason why I said she was shocked I was changed, it's because she hasn't seen me until yesterday over the phone on video. Well, hey, that's great, Kayla.
Listen, the Department of Defense has been given over $1 trillion within the last year. They have more than enough resources, as far as we can tell, in order to do what is necessary. At the same period of time, Congress has to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. The cost of living in this country is out of control.
We're gonna wander around. Hopefully they'll despawn by the time I'm back.
On day one. That hasn't happened. In fact, life has become more expensive for the American people because of decisions made by Donald Trump and extreme Republicans in Congress. The Trump tariffs have increased costs on everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year, as well as on small business entrepreneurs and on farmers throughout this nation. Republicans have refused to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, and that has resulted in tens of millions of Americans experiencing dramatically increased health insurance premiums. And now this reckless and costly war of choice is increasing the cost of living on everyday Americans, particularly through gas prices and soon through food prices all across the country in ways that are hurting the American people.
The president said this week that the United States is considering withdrawing from NATO, a sentiment that was echoed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Are you confident that Congress can keep the United States in NATO?
Yes.
Certainly, I hope that there will be a bipartisan effort to convince this administration that withdrawing from NATO would be a reckless choice. This is a dangerous world. We need more friends, not more adversaries. And we should not walk away from an alliance that has actually kept the world and the United States as safe as possible in the aftermath of World War II. And the president should stop issuing these threats and attacking our allies while coddling up to people like Vladimir Putin in Russia, which is a sworn enemy of the United States of America. He's got our priorities in terms of our friends and our adversaries all wrong.
Let me switch gears now to the Department of Homeland Security and ICE funding. As you know, the Democrats have been pushing for reforms in ICE as a condition for that funding. But now the Republicans are saying they're going to try to circumvent that by going through the reconciliation process, which means they could get the funding just by having a majority vote. So does that moot your efforts?
Well, the first thing that needs to happen is that the House of Representatives, under the leadership of Speaker Johnson and Republicans, need to bring us back into session so we can actually reopen the Department of Homeland Security, stop creating chaos at airports all across the country, and forcing people, including what happened to TSA agents for weeks, to work without pay. There is a bipartisan bill that has been sent over from the Senate, not once, but twice. Every single Democrat, every single Republican in the Senate supports that legislation. House Democrats support that legislation. So we can reopen every other aspect of the Department of Homeland Security, including TSA, Coast Guard, FEMA, and our cybersecurity professionals, while continuing to work on the effort to get ICE under control.
Let's look ahead to the midterm elections. We saw the president sign that executive order this week on mail-in voting.
Dude, they trapped themselves. Idiots.
What is the message to Democrats who are concerned that the president
Idiot alert. Big dummy.
We're going to work as hard as we can to make sure that this is a free and
I'm
fair
going to turn
election.
this down. Sorry,
that executive
guys.
order is unlawful and unconstitutional. We've already filed litigation, and we expect that it will be declared so in short order by the courts. We've won victory after victory in terms of even this very conservative Supreme Court, most recently, of course, in connection with the unlawful Trump tariffs. I expect that this executive order, which is designed to try to suppress the electorate, alter the landscape in order to artificially keep control of the House and the Senate, will be rejected. At the same time, George, we're going to continue to articulate an affirmative vision to the American people of what we as Democrats will do if they give us the opportunity to lead in the majority. We're going to fight hard to lower the high cost of living,
you get away.
to fix our broken healthcare system, to get ICE under control, to end this reckless war of choice in the Middle East, and to focus every single day, every single week, every single month on actually making life better and more affordable for hardworking American taxpayers.
Why isn't that breaking through? The Democrats in Congress are almost as unpopular as the president right now.
Well, one of the things that I will say is breaking through is that consistently for the last 15 months, Democrats have been winning elections all across the country, up and down the ballot, including most recently in deep red states like Texas, like Louisiana, and of course a few weeks ago in Florida, particularly in Mar-a-Lago. So at the end of the day, when the American people evaluate who's going to push back against Republican extremism, who is going to actually make life better for them and focus on the issues that matter, consistently they're choosing Democrats. Now, as it relates to the parties being perceived as unfavorable across the country, we understand that dynamic because the American people want to see action. Things haven't been working out for them over the last several decades. Far too many people are struggling to survive and certainly
I don't want to
can't
talk about
thrive
it.
paycheck to paycheck
Okay?
in this country.
I don't want to talk
which
about
should
it.
not be happening in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. And so we're going to continue to forcefully push back against the extremism being unleashed on the American people, push back against the chaos, while at the same period of time convince every single American that it's us who are determined to do the things that are necessary, bring about the bold transformational changes necessary to support working class Americans, everyday Americans, and middle class Americans in a manner consistent with who we are when we are the best version of ourselves here in America.
Amen,
Thanks
King.
very much for your time.
Amen. Speak it. Oh, geez. I don't want to watch Asmongold, guys. I'm tired of him. Alabama GOP caucus removes Representative Arnold Mooney. Interesting. God, who is this guy? He seems like an absolute Chad. Man, that guy seems attractive. Ooh, let's go here. Every Lie in Trump's Iran speech by Adam Schiff. I'm going to go get some water real quick, guys, and then I'll be right back.
After nearly 5 weeks of war,
And then I'll
13
go get
service
my
members
stuff.
lost and hundreds injured.
I used to be subscribed to him because I liked watching him, but now what he says is just outlandish. Yeah, it's insane, bro. He was just in this video telling people they need to take militant action against children. It's fucking insane.
Spoke to the nation last night.
All right,
about
be right
Iran.
back,
Now,
gang.
We watched this speech, so you don't have to. But here is the quick takeaway.
Iran has been essentially decimated. The hard part is done, so it should be easy.
So the president says that Iran is essentially decimated. The hard part's done. It's all going to be easy from here. Reminded me a lot of this speech.
My fellow Americans, major combat operations in Iraq have ended. In the Battle of Iraq, the United States and our allies have prevailed.
That was George W. Bush at almost exactly the same point of the Iraq War. That is about 5 weeks into that war. And of course, that war went on for a very long time. And the hardest part was yet to come. So let's break down this 19-minute speech and see what it has to say about how long this war will go on. First, the president claimed that the Iran war was not responsible for driving up prices at the pump. Here he is.
Many Americans have been concerned to see the recent rise in gasoline prices here at home. This short-term increase has been entirely the result of the Iranian regime launching deranged terror attacks against commercial oil tankers in neighboring countries that have nothing to do with the conflict.
This is, of course, an absurd claim. It is the war and Iran's retaliation for American strikes that are closing off the Strait of Hormuz and pushing up gas prices now above $4. Who does the president think he can convince by claiming that the gas prices are not related to the war? Well, apparently not many Americans are buying it. About 33% of Americans believe the president's positions on the war. An even smaller number think that the war is worth its costs. In fact, only 29% of Americans think that the war is worth its cost in American lives and in the prices that Americans are paying at the pump. So what does the president have to say about how the straits can be opened or when they'll be opened? Well, he made this rather absurd claim.
Which should be easy. And in any event, when this conflict is over, the strait will open up naturally.
It'll open up natural. It'll just open up.
To sell oil because that's all they have to try and rebuild. It will resume the flowing and the gas prices will rapidly come back down.
That's right. The straits are going to somehow open themselves.
Mm-hmm.
He also urged other nations to do their part in opening the straits and complained that they weren't doing more. He at least didn't threaten NATO, which he has done for most of the week, threatened to pull the United States out of NATO. That would be a catastrophic result for the United States. It would be great news for other nations like Russia. But thankfully, that wasn't part of the speech. The president also claimed that Iran's capability to launch missiles and drones has been dramatically reduced.
Tonight, Iran's Navy
It's dramatically reduced, ladies and gentlemen.
Air Force is in
1/3.
Their leaders, most of them terrorist regime they led, are now dead. Their command and control of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is being decimated as we speak.
As
Their
we
ability to
speak.
launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed, and their weapons factories and rocket launchers are being blown to pieces. Very few of them left.
That part is true
There
as
we
far
go.
as it goes, but it's a bit misleading because Iran is still
You gotta-
very deadly, as we saw this past week. When
We got some
Iranian
zombies
projectiles
here.
hit an American base, injuring more than a dozen service members too very seriously. So Iran is still very much a potent threat. After all, they're still keeping the Strait of Hormuz closed, and they're doing grave damage to our allies. And
Oh yeah, Donald Trump definitely looks like he's on drugs.
some of the lies Trump told last night were familiar to those who've been watching him. He said again that Iran was on the precipice of
Let's
having
go.
a nuclear bomb. That's just plain false.
And the race for a nuclear bomb, a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen before. They were right at the doorstep.
It's a nuclear weapon like nobody's ever seen.
Be capable of reaching the United States. That too, just
That's bad. We got to get on top of that one, guys.
Agency estimates it will take another 9 years before they have the capacity to do so.
They were also rapidly building a vast stockpile of conventional ballistic missiles and would soon have had missiles that could reach the American homeland, Europe, and virtually any other place on Earth.
On the nuclear claim, of course, it was just a short time ago, after the first time Trump bombed Iran, he claimed the nuclear stockpiles have been obliterated. Here's that footage.
Those beautiful B-2 bombers performed magnificently. We totally obliterated those nuclear sites.
Now he claims it's just nuclear dust that will take months to clean up, that we have a good eye on.
Oh, hey,
our
friend.
overhead architecture of satellites. If that's the case, then it certainly moots the original rationale that Trump gave for the war, which was that we had to do so to prevent Iran from getting the bomb. It has now apparently been obliterated just
all
as
right.
dust.
We'll
I
just
suppose the good news, unless this is a feint,
We'll just go down.
is that maybe it means he's not going
I think
to
we got
deploy
what we
ground
needed.
troops with the idea of
Oh,
trying to
hello.
grab that nuclear dust.
Oh, hello, friend.
Very unclear what he means by any of this.
Not a fan of that.
To the JCPOA
I don't know where you guys are coming from. Oh, wait, that's netherite scrap. I want that very bad.
in terms of inspectors on the ground.
No, I don't want
He
that.
said,
I want
in that
that.
case,
Thank
that
you.
The Obama administration had paid Iran $1.7
All right, later,
billion.
losers.
Actually, that agreement only
I'll be back
unfroze
later.
$1.7 billion of Iran's own money. It wasn't like we were paying them out of our treasury. But nevertheless, in claiming that was the biggest payoff to Iran in history, actually, no, Donald Trump just did that by effectively doing away with the sanctions on Iranian oil that was at sea. That was a $14
Yeah, that's
billion
blood money, ladies and gentlemen.
to the Iranian
Absolute
regime.
blood money.
So that title, that honor, that dubious honor belongs to Donald Trump himself.
And then, very importantly, I terminated Barack Hussein Obama's Iran nuclear deal.
Very importantly, right there, ladies and
Obama gave
gentlemen.
them $1.7 billion in cash. Green cash. Took out of banks from Virginia, D.C., and Maryland, all the cash they had. Flew it by airplanes in an attempt to buy their respect and loyalty, but it didn't work. They laughed at our president and went on with their mission to have a nuclear bomb. His Iran deal would have led to a colossal arsenal of massive nuclear weapons for Iran, and they would have had them years ago, and they would have used them. Would have been a different world. There would have been no Middle East and no Israel.
There would have been no Middle East, ladies. It would have just been erased. The nukes would have erased it.
Experts, had I not terminated that terrible deal, and I was so honored to do it. I was so proud to do it. It was so bad right from the beginning. Essentially, I did what no other president was willing to do. They made mistakes, and I am correcting them.
Donald Trump again made the ridiculous claim that inflation was a thing of the past, that he had essentially stopped inflation.
In history, in 1 year, we've taken a dead and crippled country. I hate to say that, but we were a dead
No, you don't.
and crippled country.
You hate America, bro. Stop acting like you like this place.
And made it the hottest country anywhere in the world by far with no inflation.
That's not true, as all Americans can attest. Food prices, housing prices, lumber prices, you name it, across the board, prices continue to rise. So this is just Donald Trump telling the American people, don't believe your lying eyes. Sadly, the American people are experiencing all too much difficulty in affording the cost of living, and nothing he says in this address to the contrary is going to be very persuasive. And then he claimed, although I'm not sure why this is particularly relevant, that the big beautiful bill was resulting in largest tax cuts for people, and they were going to do so great from this tax cut. In fact, what that big ugly bill did was raise everybody's health care costs far in excess of what they hope to get back, unless they're very, very rich, from any kind of tax cut in the big beautiful bill. As he calls it, that was a tax cut really only for the very, very wealthy and large corporations, but at the cost of decimating healthcare in this country.
Just now, talking about receiving larger refunds than they ever thought possible. They are getting so much more money than they thought.
So much more money.
Our economy is strong and improving by the day. And
Yeah, all those savings are just eaten up by the cost of living, man.
He also seems to not be able to get his story straight when it comes to the whole reason for this war. It keeps changing. He said in his speech last night it was not about regime change.
In the meantime, discussions are ongoing. Regime change was not our goal. We never said regime change.
But of course, we know earlier he'd said we needed regime change and the Iranian people should rise up.
When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take.
It will be yours to take.
Your only chance for generations.
But he also said that even though there wasn't regime change as an object, the regime has changed.
But regime change has occurred.
There was one bit of truth
Interesting.
in the speech, though, when the president talked about the world watching.
In your children and your grandchildren's future, the whole world is watching, and they can't leave the power, strength, and brilliance. They just can't believe what they're seeing.
Yes, the world is watching, and they can't believe what they're seeing. They can't believe that the United States of America would go to war without much of a reason or rationale, without much of a strategy for how to bring it to an end. that it would shun its allies and then criticize its allies for not coming to the rescue and reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, the world is watching, and I think most of the world is sadly appalled. But perhaps the most telling thing he said yesterday was not in that 19-minute speech, but in something he said at an Easter luncheon when he talked about the cost to the American people, not just of this war, but of other wars as well. Here he is talking about what America now cannot afford.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people. We're fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let the state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up. But it's not possible for us to take care of daycare.
Oh, so we're gonna give people a
Medicaid,
tax
Medicare,
cut.
all these
Interesting.
individual things. They can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing: military protection.
So he says we can't afford daycare or Medicare or Medicaid.
But we can afford this war.
Well, that's probably the case if you believe that you need to give more and more tax cuts to really wealthy people. But if you think that everyone should pay their fair share, then this is a country more than wealthy enough to be able to afford Medicare and daycare and Medicaid and a college education for young people and universal health care. No, it's squandering hundreds of billions of dollars on wars like this that is costing our country so much. When George W. Bush gave that mission accomplished speech, it was only about 5 or 6 weeks into the Iraq War, which, as the president pointed out last night, went on for a very long time.
Iraq went on for 8 years, 8 months, and 28 days. We are in this military operation, so powerful, so brilliant, against one of the most powerful countries for 32 days. And the country
What Trump say about Barack Obama? I don't believe what Trump said because that doesn't sound like Barack Obama at all. Oh yeah, he's just a big liar. See, the unfortunate reality is that Iran was abiding by the JCPOA until Donald Trump pulled out of it. This war was preventable, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so tired. You know what I'm tired of? I'm kind of sick of some of my liberal brethren cheering it on. As if it's going to lead to a good outcome, if they're good vibes. Yeah, if their good vibes are let known. No, bro, this war fucking is... It's totally baseless. There's no reason we need to be at war with Iran right now. So I reject that framing, and I think it's kind of sad, honestly. Like, I hate Iran too, dude. I think Iran is a despot state that abuses their people. But just because I acknowledge that does not mean that I support this action. Not at all. As history has shown, Democrats will come in, fix everything for Republicans to throw a tantrum and knock everything down again. Yeah. I don't know, though. I think the Republican Party after Trump is going to be struggling very hard. Just the conservative movement as a whole, honestly. I'll be honest, I don't know if the conservative movement will survive Trump. I think there will be something completely different. Now, what that is, I have no idea. But I'm seeing signs that the Republican Party is not long for this world. And something that highlights it for me is their inability for the House and the Senate to agree on things. The House and Senate Democrats were lockstep. But the Republicans in the House and Senate, they can't agree on anything. Sorry, still kind of tired. My bad, guys. But they can't agree on anything. It is very interesting. I think we're seeing the death of the Republican Party in real time. But that's just my opinion. Who knows? I'm probably wrong, and I'll be proven wrong next time. There's always room to fear and rage bait in America. Yeah, to an extent, but I think people are so tired of these partisan politics, man. Like, I get people coming into my debate all the time that are just like, I do not, you know, we may not agree, but I'm glad we can just hash it out. And that's not Donald Trump's way he does that's not Donald Trump or the Republican Party's ways they do politic. I'm feeling a little glass right here. I'm feeling a little glass. Also, I should probably make a diamond sword, I imagine. An iron cut. No, we're gonna get an iron sword or a diamond cutlass. Ooh, actually, can I use maybe I can make a katana. That would be kind of cool. Diamond hammer? Interesting. Diamond scythe. Or a great hammer. Kind of like that hammer there. That thing looked dangerous. I'm going to make that. Here, sorry guys. I'll let it play. My bad. Actually, no. We're done with the video, I think.
Looking for any sign last night that
Glass to meet you. Hey, glass to meet you too.
And we sadly didn't see it. And I remained deeply concerned that he might make it worse by putting American boots on the ground. As soon as we get back, I have a War Powers resolution to once again try to bring this conflict to an end because the American people simply don't want another forever war.
So thanks for watching tonight's video. We started doing these.
Amen. Yeah, I like these videos by Schiff. I think they're very informative. Crimson Desert proved everyone wrong. Oh, jeez. I don't know why. Asmon's videos, my eyes draw to them. Alright, let's see what else we got going on in the world. Let's check this piece by Channel 4 News. This could be interesting. What is this? Pastor Sam Tarver? Sermon title? Maple Springs Baptist Church? What's this about?
Will you come? 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 Will you come out of your brokenness?
Will you come? Will you come? This is a new sound drop. Oh, bro, that was so good.
They knew the plans given to me.
Mm-hmm.
Did he say go?
Nope, he sure didn't. Wait, what?
For us to go. But he's inviting someone here this we invite you to play about. Praise Jesus. Whatever your challenge is this morning. Come.
There we
you
go.
come?
Will you come? Will you come? Will you come?
Will you come?
Will you come?
Will you come?
Will you come? Will you come? Will you come? All right, let's go back to Channel 4 News. I actually really wanted to watch that. Ah! I'm dying out here, folks. Will you come? Will you come? Oh, I would love that. I would love a soundbite of that. Will you come? All right, where was that piece? How the DOJ could be covering up ties. Was this an old video they posted? I wanted to watch it, but I'm not seeing it, so never mind. Never mind, Channel 4. I'd rather watch this guy. He seems really smart and intelligent. Alright, what's this? Netanyahu's praises Trump. Trump just addressed the nation. Ah! Ari has receptions. I'm sure you covered Trump's Truth Social post about Iran. Oh, are you talking about his threat to military infrastructure? Yeah. Yep. No shock there. Actually, let's watch, I do like War Fronts, but I know there's something. What is this? Bro, what is this? Damn, there's a lot of Christian things going on. Ben versus MAGA. Whoa. James Tallarico delivers service against Christian nationalism. Beautiful wasp zombifies cockroach. Interesting. Let's see what else we got going. What else we got pushing here? Bye. You know what? I didn't cover Moist Critical's covering of this. Let's see what he has to say. Go off, Charlie.
There's Useless, and then there's Pam Bondi. Cockroaches have more respect from people than Scam Bondi ever will. She's just been fired. Hallelujah, time to butt chug some brewskis in the bathtub tonight to celebrate this wonderful news.
You know what? I respect Moist Critical. I do. He has built an empire.
He famously shut down the conversation about Epstein.
My computer's lagging. Shout out to the laggy Lenovo laptop. We love the ThinkPad, ladies and gentlemen. We love the ThinkPad. But I really respect Moist Critical. You know, he's more liberal, but he's built a gaming empire. He's got his own comics. He is somebody that, you know, if you're a young guy on the internet, I would look up to, truly. Charlie is a better Joe Rogan than even Joe Rogan, in my opinion. Like, if people aspired to be like Charlie, I think we'd live in a better world. I truly do. Now, obviously, Charlie, I don't even think he's done any super controversial things. You know, I always say Ethan Klein is a great example of somebody who is, you know, a good male role model on the internet. But Charlie's also one of these people that I do think is a good role model for men, for young men on the internet. I do. He's respectful. He doesn't fucking shit about, he doesn't just shit his britches when he sees something he doesn't like. I mean, I think he's a good role model. I do.
It's over 50K, stating that it's ridiculous to be talking about Epstein when the Dow's over 50K. That's what we need to focus on. And now look at us, Pam. Who could have seen this? Dow's under 50K and she lost her whole job. Ain't that some shit, huh? Man, when it rains, it pours. Pam Bondi's time as Attorney General will be looked back on with embarrassment and shame. They won't be hanging her jersey number in the rafters, celebrating her time in this position. She was fucking useless. More useless than my goofy area. violas. There has never been anyone in the history of this country worse at their job than Pam Bondi. And I don't just mean from a government position, I mean across the entire spectrum of jobs that exists, there has never been a single soul that is more terrible at their job than Pam Bondi was as Attorney General. You could have given Attorney General to a fucking crackhead who's never lucid, and he probably would have accidentally stumbled into doing a couple of things. She did nothing. Literally nothing. She accomplished less than a gas station toilet, yet she probably swallowed more shit than a toilet. And she did so proudly, without an ounce of shame or regret. It's so pathetic. I don't know how she sleeps at night. And apparently she even had the gall to like grovel and beg to not be fired because this means everything to her. She doesn't do anything. All she does is just lie and idly collect a paycheck while delivering lip service that is constantly contradictory and debasing herself in front of the entire nation with a chin held high. It is the most pathetic shit imaginable.
Good day. We are coming on the air with breaking news. President Trump has apparently fired his Attorney General, Pam Bondi, according to a senior administration official and a source familiar with the matter. This
Honestly,
comes after
why didn't they
NBC
do
News
it
learned that
sooner,
the president has
dude?
grown frustrated with his Attorney General in recent days, according to multiple sources. This is a blow because she has been a very loyal sort of friend and ally of the president for a long time, going back to Florida.
I love how the reporter struggled to find the words to adequately describe her relationship with Trump, because friend and ally, loyal, that doesn't even really encapsulate it. She was a leech, an actual parasite, a fucking hemorrhoid, a pinworm, living deep inside the asshole of President Trump, more than willing to just suck the farts straight out of his butt. Like that, she was so deep in there. And I know she never thought that she would be thrown under the bus because of this level of NPC behavior from her. She was a full-blown drone. I don't think she has had an actual thought of her own in years, because she is just on cruise control, idly just going through the motions
Charlie,
and
but think about
delivering
it.
speeches and just constantly
Like,
lying about
the Dow was
Epstein
over
files being on her
50K,
desk, by
you
the way,
know?
which they're probably still there. She's just got to go in there and dust it off when she's collecting her things and leaving the office forever. And now that she has been thrown under the bus here, I have to imagine she's just sitting there fucking drooling blankly like the parents from Weapons after the spell gets broken on them. Pam's probably just stunned, catatonic in like a fucking fugue state, not sure what to do with herself. She threw everything away, literally became a complete clown in front of the entire world, and now it didn't pay off. She wasn't able to just endlessly coast off being this bot.
Assisting in the first Trump term. And this, in many ways, comes down to a representation of the frustration that President Trump has, that his vision for how he could exact retribution against political rivals and those who had, in his perception, done him wrong at some past point, to be brought to justice. That has not happened, even though this Department of Justice under Pam Bondi has attempted to do so in a number of areas where we've seen the failed attempts to prosecute James Comey or Letitia James.
Failure really is the only word that can appropriately describe Pam Bondi's entire career.
He's not wrong, dude. Like, what did she do with her time? Can you guys think of anything like important she did? I can't think of anything. She really did just waste everybody's time. We're gonna have a nice little stone bed right here, you know what I'm saying? Nice little stone bed. It's always good to have a little stone. There we go. And it's raining outside.
Everything she has ever attempted to do here during her time as Attorney General has been a complete and utter failure. And now, the person that she was huffing farts like they were oxygen is throwing her to the side. Like, Woody, I no longer want to play with you. And now what, Pam? And now what?
Then there's the broader issue of the Epstein files. There was a moment where Pam Bondi, who in the journey of her time as Attorney General has been both loyal but has also committed some self-inflicted errors. She talked about having the so-called Epstein list on her desk, and that never materialized. She had led people to believe there would be more coming on Epstein, and then initially last summer, the Department of Justice said the files would be closed. There was no action to be taken.
And we're still currently in that circus whirlwind. Pam Bondi will always be mocked and looked at as the clown that she is. That being said, better late than never. I'm glad she is finally fired. That is wonderful news. Yes, it should have happened sooner, but it's still good that it's here now. Though I don't think her replacement is going to be a huge improvement. It's Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche is someone I've already shot spitballs at because this guy openly just talks about how there most likely will never be a further Epstein investigation into the clients. He also famously had that wonderful little segment where he said it's not a crime to party with Epstein.
Is there any chance that any of these individuals who partied with Epstein and engaged in, relations with minors will be prosecuted? Any chance?
I'll never say no, and we will always investigate any evidence of misconduct. But as you know, it is not a crime to party with Mr. Epstein, and so as horrible as it's not a crime to email with Mr. Epstein, and
interesting.
Some of these men may have done horrible things, and if we have evidence that allows us to prosecute them, you better believe we will. But it's also the kind of thing that the American people need to understand
right
that it isn't a crime to party with Mr. Epstein. It isn't a crime to have
Didn't look like that's all that was going on some of those photos. I mean, if the photos could speak, some of them look pretty bad.
That's right. And unfortunately, photos can't speak. And so we need witnesses and we need
Are there
evidence
videotapes that you all have? Or?
For the millionth time, yes, there are videos. Also, Todd Blanche mentions the witnesses and stuff, but they don't really seem to want to talk to the victims overly often. That seems to be an area they're not super gung-ho about gathering information from the potential victims that have come forward. Todd Blanche is not someone I put a lot of faith in doing a better job as Attorney General, but I will say it would be hard for him to do a worse job than Pam Bondi. And he is not shy about just letting you know that they don't really plan on doing a whole lot with the Epstein case.
That's good.
There's another clip that he has become infamous for where he's pretended he didn't understand the question when asked about like the abusers in the Epstein files, that kind of thing. So Todd Blanche, not exactly looking like a superstar to really start pumping your fist about, but doesn't mean we can't celebrate Pam Bondi being fired. But anyway, just wanted to yap about this and say, bye Pam, enjoy retirement. Anyway, that's really about it. See ya.
That's really about it. See ya. All right. Well, shout out, Critical. I appreciate it. I appreciate you bringing light. Anyways, it doesn't really seem like there's much news going on today, guys. We can watch this, Come. I Want You to Come. We can watch that. Ro Khanna pours cold water on Todd Blanche's effort to bury Epstein files. This is probably the last. Actually, is Palm Beach Pete Jeffrey Epstein, guys? I do wonder that. Actually, let's watch this video. Oh God, there's someone here too. Oh, okay. Let's get our geopolitics in for the day and see what Warfronts has to say. Praise the mushrooms. Amen.
All the ingredients are there for a much wider regional blow-up. Really, a regional mega-war. Those were the words of International Crisis Group expert Alan Boswell, discussing the possibility that two of the worst wars seen this century might merge into a single conflict. On the one side, you have the Tigray War in northern Ethiopia, which plausibly killed...
Guys, are we in World War III right now? Like, are we going to look back on this time and say, oh yeah, that was the start of World War III? Like, are we in World War III right now? I kind of feel like we might be. Not to fearmonger, but like we kind of got all the telltale signs of a world war right now. We've got multiple regional conflicts that have implications far beyond just that conflict. We have just so much going on right now. They look too similar not to be, but yeah, there are people out there that look similar to one another. Oh yeah. No, I don't think Palm Beach Pete is Jeffrey Epstein. Their facial features are a little too much. My fear is that we will sadly look back at this point and think of even this as the peaceful times. Well, I don't know about that one, man. I don't think there's a lot of, like, I think there's a lot of war happening right now. I'll be honest, I don't see, like, World War III happening between, I don't see China and America fighting. I feel like China will probably back off of Taiwan. To be frank. But let's look at the wider, like, let's not just look at those areas. Let's look at Africa and how there are a shit ton of regional or close to regional wars going on there. Let's look at the Middle East. We have America attacking Iran. Europe, we have Russia attacking Ukraine. China attacking Taiwan soon will plunge the world into chaos. Oh yeah, that's where we get all our semiconductors from, so... Oh yeah. This is not a peaceful time. China is definitely not backing off Taiwan. I disagree, man. I mean, for me, it's 50-50. They either attack it or they don't. But I think Trump's Iran move has emboldened them. So I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. But now Ethiopia and Sudan are about to go to war, so get excited for that, guys. Apparently Russia is also going to try to take the Baltic states. Well, if they try that, I mean, they can try. They're gonna fail, but they can try. The one Trump has fired, she was advocating for trans... She was? Pam Bondi was advocating for trans rights? What? I didn't know that. If you have a video of her doing that, Kayla, I would really... That'd be interesting to see. I don't know. Pam Bondi is just... She's fucking Pam Bondi. You know what I'm saying? Like... I don't know. She did feel kind of useless. Hold on. I want some tree. I want tree. I want tree. Tree. Oh shit, that was apparently a tree lit on fire. Alright, I want pretty tree too. I want these pretty trees too. Whoa! Hold on, I'll refocus the game real quick. I want pretty tree right here. Pretty tree is way cooler than normal tree. What's that? Yep, we've got magic, by the way. You guys ever seen that Shadow Wizard Money Gang meme? Well, that's me in real life. We love casting spells. You guys know that meme? Hold on. I'll show you that, guys, that meme, just because it does sound like I'm just having a crazy moment. So let me bring that up. Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells. Ah! Money Gang. I didn't realize they were actual artists. I don't think they are artists. I think it's just a meme. I think I can show this. I think I can show this without getting claimed.
Sponsored by the Shadow Government. Legalize nuclear bombs. Warning, nuking is now legal worldwide. I walk into Valencia, make them wipe me down. Oil filter on the clock, you won't hear it.
That sounds like copyrighted music. Yeah, that's about it. It's really just that this part right here. Amen, we do. This beat is sponsored by the Shadow Government.
600,000 people between 2020 and 2022, and now looks set to reignite. On the other, you have the ongoing meltdown in
Wonder how I do in
Sudan,
Space Engineers. I think I have Space Engineers, but my computer can't run it.
What appears to be a genocide. But while Boswell was speaking in the context of a resurgent Tigray war drawing in neighboring Sudan, there is another possibility, the one we saw demonstrated just 2 weeks ago, that Ethiopia may willingly enter Sudan's conflict.
Dude,
of its own
these creepers
On March
gotta
23rd,
stop.
fighters from the
They
Allied
need
RSF
to
and
fucking quit.
SPLMN are out of the Sudanese army at the strategic town of Kermuk in the Blue Nile state. But this wasn't a regular victory. The rebels had crossed over from Ethiopian territory where the government of Abiy Ahmed had been sheltering them. With Sudanese military officers now briefing that they see Addis Ababa as an active participant in the war, the chances of these two conflicts merging has now gone from theoretical to a terrifying possibility. The governor of Kermuk province in Sudan's Blue Nile state is not a guy to mince words. After a combined force of fighters from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces and the Sudan People's Liberation Movement North overran the strategic town on March the 23rd, he told the media, the forces that attacked Kermuk are set out from inside Ethiopian territory and are supported by Ethiopia. We're dealing...
Interesting. Kayla, I think Trump fired Pam Bondi just because she wasn't doing what he was asking. And you know, Donald Trump is such a little piss baby that if you don't do things exactly how he wants it, he'll fire you. This beat is sponsored by the Shadow Government. Ah!
Figures in Sudan's military have been briefing journalists for months that Ethiopia is becoming actively involved in the nation's civil war. As Arab Weekly reported in January, quoting, the current consensus within Sudan's military-led government is that Ethiopia is now an official combatant.
Alright, you wanna fucking go, bro? Let's go.
Of the joint attack seems to have caught the
What you doing? What you think you're doing here?
The fighters crossed over from Ethiopia's Benishangul Gumuz region, where a massive training and logistics camp was established late last year with financial support from the UAE. In a recent in-depth investigative piece, Reuters uncovered diplomatic cables and internal security memos that suggested, quote, the United Arab Emirates financed the camp's construction and provided military trainers and logistical support to the site. We'll circle back to the role of the UAE later in this video. For now, though, the key point is that neither the existence of this camp nor the sheer number of fighters training there was exactly a secret. The Sudanese military even moved additional troops to Blue Nile
Get
State
fucking
to defend
wrecked,
against
bro.
attacks. Yet
Oh.
was for naught. When the
Bro
combined
took a
RSF and
massive L
SPLM
right there.
force attacked, it humiliated the defenders. According to the Sudan War Monitor, equipment was seized and senior army officers taken prisoner amid a chaotic retreat. By the time the dust settled, the strategic town of Kirkuk was in rebel hands. The opening of the Blue Nile front by the RSF and its allies comes at a time when the bulk of the fighting is taking place in Kordofan in central Sudan, a front where the paramilitaries seem to expect an easy victory, only to be surprised by a series of setbacks earlier this year. Beginning a new campaign in the south is most likely an attempt to draw SAF troops away from the main fighting and to make the army spread its forces thin. It's also a direct result of the RSF's surprise alliance with SPLMN, which has long had a presence in Sudan's south, including the Blue Nile State. We call the...
Sorry, guys. Seems like Minecraft interferes with the loading of a video. It's very strange.
The RSF was one of the main forces responsible for putting down the SPLMN's rebellion against Khartoum, something they did with gleeful violence. Here's how Al Jazeera described it. Even after the RSF turned its guns on its former ally, the SAF, in 2023, its fighters massacred villagers across the Nuba Mountains. According to Human Rights Watch, RSF forces committed war crimes in the Nuba between December 2023 and March 2024, including murder, sexual violence, looting, slavery, gang, and the deliberate targeting of civilians.
Now
So
that's
the
not
forging
good.
of this alliance in 2025 definitely raised a few eyebrows.
I'm just gonna say it.
That includes within the two groups themselves. Quote, the two rebel groups still look upon each other warily, and their forces have not integrated. Whatever the motivations for the alliance, though,
Track
the latest
history as
combined
well as he's
RSF
finding
and
anybody
SPLMN
trying. Oh yeah, for
offensive
sure,
appears to have been
for sure,
successful.
Kayla. I agree
The
with
SAF
that.
are now fighting on an additional front at a time when they need to concentrate their forces in Kordofan. And while it seems unlikely that the rebels will capture the Blue Nile state capital of Damazin, which the military is now rushing to reinforce, this is still a major blow to
At the end
SAF
of the
leader
stream, I'll
General
upgrade.
Al-Burhan.
I'll
So far, though,
do the
we've mostly been
skills.
discussing events on the ground. The sort of straightforward Sudan war updates that would slot in nicely with our briefing room format over on fronts.co, which you can subscribe to if you want, but not the sort of thing that seems worth an entire video. So, no, what makes a video on this offensive so necessary isn't the events in Blue Nile State, what they may represent. The regionalization of Sudan's war as Ethiopia goes from being an observer to an active participant. Now, before we do dive deep into the weeds on Ethiopia, let me talk about.
All right, we got two.
Subscriber-only site. Fronts.co is
We
where
got
put
two
out the
problems.
extra detailed articles and videos that won't fit here on the main channel, filling you in on the background of the biggest crises gripping our world. And yes, there is plenty of
Yeah,
them to
get your
choose
shield
from right now.
away.
Just
Put
$5
that
a
thing
month
down.
or $50 a year. You get 2 exclusive videos and 2 exclusive articles every week covering the wars in Iran, Sudan, Ethiopia, Ukraine, and more. Basically,
that
if you
thing
like what
away,
we do here on
dude.
War Fronts, you'll probably want to know what we've got going on over at Fronts.co. Again, Fronts.co is $5 a month, and it'll keep you filled in all the
Oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Get out of here. Get out of here. Thank
We
you.
know you love. I mean, you're here, deep into a War Fronts video. And now let's get back to the war in Ethiopia in Sudan's devastating war.
Fucking
Now, the obvious question to
wrecked.
ask at this stage is why?
Where was
Why
that dude on a
Ethiopia, itself
horse?
a fragile state fighting multiple insurgencies, be so keen to join what may be the world's worst ongoing war? Certainly, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed spent the early years of the conflict trying to keep both sides guessing, after provocatively receiving RSF chief Mohammed Dagalo, a guy universally known as Hameti, as head of state in Addis Ababa. Abiy later flew to the temporary military capital of Port Sudan, where he managed to arrange a direct call between General Al-Burhan and the RSF's chief backer, the leader of the UAE, Mohammed bin Zayed. So for Ethiopia to suddenly swing so decisively behind the RSF seems counterintuitive. I mean, why?
Yeah, that's pretty
They bother
fucking
trying
crazy. The RSF is known to just be these despots of you know, they're raiders, they're pillagers, man. They're genocidal freaks. Ethiopia should be ashamed. In the UAE as well. They should all be ashamed for their support of these horrible regime. I mean, we all know, I mean, I don't know if you guys know, but I've known about the RSF for a while, and they're not good people. They're very bad. I would even say evil, honestly. I'd go that far. I'd say these motherfuckers are evil. If you hear about some of the shit they've done in the past, it's insane, bro. This beat is sponsored by the shadow government.
So hard to keep up a veneer of neutrality if you're suddenly going to go, nah, RSF for the win. The answer, as you probably guessed, is extremely complex and intimately tied into the shifting geopolitics, not just of Africa, but also of the wider MENA region. For our purposes today, though, we can sketch out some basic drivers, the most obvious of which is Ethiopia's heavy reliance on the UAE. Since Abiy came to power in 2018, Abu Dhabi has bankrolled his regime, both helping the government carry out projects and sinking money into a gigantic palace the Prime Minister is building for himself. More importantly, it was Emirati weapons shipments that allowed Addis Ababa to win the Tigray War, a war in which the Tigray People's Liberation Front, or TPLF, came close to marching on the capital and overthrowing the government before being driven back by withering drone fire. As such, Abiy sees UAE backing as key to keeping his regime from toppling, especially as it fights an ongoing insurgency in Amhara region and gears up for another potential war in Tigray. And since the UAE also
I think
backs
we
the
can beat
RSF
that
in
tower
Sudan,
now.
perhaps
I
it was
do.
only a matter of time before Abu Dhabi twisted Abiy's arm into overtly backing the paramilitaries. As
Excuse me?
Africa expert Cameron Hudson has noted, quote, Ethiopia is less motivated here by incentives, which seem absent, than by pressure from the UAE. Yet there are reasons, beyond merely keeping Abu Dhabi exposed, that Addis Ababa may have for getting involved in Sudan's conflict. And once again, they can be traced back to the Tigray War. While most of the devastation was confined to Tigray region in northern Ethiopia, or to the regions, such as Amhara, that the TPLF invaded in its counter-offensive, the war was also traumatic for the Federal.
Dude, why does it keep doing that? That is so weird. Maybe I'm taking up too much RAM.
Addis Ababa. As the crisis blew up, Sudan's military took advantage of the distraction to move into the disputed
But you can't stop me
Al-Fasher
from gaming,
borderlands,
sorry.
taking 90% of a territory that Addis Ababa believes rightfully belongs to Ethiopia. Nor did Khartoum's meddling stop there. When the war ended, scores of Tigrayan fighters
Where did
sought
my
refuge
mini-map
in Sudan.
go?
While
The
the
hell?
SAF has always denied harboring them, these protests fell apart in early 2025 when the TPLF's Army 70 helped Sudan's military liberate Khartoum. But the issue isn't just bitterness at wartime interference. Rather, Ethiopia fears that the Sudanese army is now becoming more and more aligned with its mortal enemies. For extremely complicated reasons that we don't have time to get into today, a large faction of the TPLF is now drawing closer to its old enemy, Eritrea. Eritrea believes, with some justification, that Abiy wants to annex parts of its territory.
Excuse me?
To open access to the sea, something the Prime Minister has
These fucking losers are
called an
fucked.
existential issue for landlocked Ethiopia.
Let's
So
go.
Asmara is now
You and me,
arming
let's
the
go,
Tigrayan
buddy.
rebels that the Sudanese army is deepening and formalizing its ties with in the hopes of creating a deterrent. At the same time, the SAF is also being pulled into a direct alliance with Eritrea. The reasons aren't hard to find. Sudan.
Alright, we gotta get rid of
The
these
war would
fucking
be over
losers.
if not for the UAE keeping the RSF afloat. Eritrea is part of the coalescing anti-Emirati alliance due to its own fears of Ethiopia. Therefore, the two feel like they have a common enemy. This alliance is already more than theoretical. Eritrean airfields shelter Sudanese fighter jets to keep them safe from RSF drone strikes. Asmara trains and arms anti-RSF groups in Darfur that are aligned with the SAF. Clearly, Eritrea's hope is that the threat of SAF and TPLF intervention is enough to deter
buddy.
Ethiopia from attacking.
Sorry, I'm
But
kind of
another
focused on
equally
survive.
important
Oh god.
play here, one connected not to Eritrea, but another of Ethiopia's longtime foes, Egypt. Now, if you're already feeling exhausted keeping up with all of these acronyms and alliances, well, I don't blame you. In a recent piece on fronts.co, we
There we go.
described the web of alliances spreading across the MENA region like
We
this.
got it.
Were you to try and plot this all on a course?
Oh, why are
wind up looking
you...
like some
Okay, you gotta...
obsessive detective tracking a serial killer.
Why do you
Endless
exist?
lines of string crossing maps, all like spider webs, while printed mugshots of the main players.
I'm not a fan of that, man.
But to really understand what's at stake here,
Oh.
we need to sketch out yet another major rivalry, this time between Addis Ababa and Cairo. Tensions have been rising between Egypt and Ethiopia ever since the latter announced its Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, or GERD for short. Spanning the Blue Nile, the GERD is meant to transform the nation by generating enormous
Excuse
amounts
me.
of hydroelectric
No, no, no.
It has
No, 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 no.
survived
You gotta stop this.
Cairo, by contrast, it is seen as an example of those thieving Ethiopians threatening Egypt's water. As a nation that is basically one big desert, nearly all life in Egypt clings to either the coasts or the Nile River. Dam the Blue Nile, and just suddenly have the ability to control the state's access to the one thing it needs to survive: water. As such, Egypt regards the GERD as a potential threat. The Lowy Institute claims that Egypt's growing alliance with the SAF
Hey, what's up,
is
guys?
entirely because it fears a Sudan controlled by the RSF would cripple its attempts at Nile diplomacy. That might be overstating the claim, but it's certainly true that the GERD is one of the major factors driving Egyptian decision-making. Another is the fear that a wider collapse of Sudan would drive enormous flows of refugees across their border. Regardless, Cairo is not shy about the fact that it wants the SAF to win. Egypt recently reinterpreted a joint defense agreement signed with Sudan years before as a pact specifically with the SAF, while the Egyptian Air Force has begun using Turkish-supplied drones to bomb RSF supply convoys, leaving from eastern Libya, where the warlord General Haftar is in the UAE.
Yeah, why does it keep pausing? That is so weird.
As we've covered in other videos, the attacks on RSF supply routes from Libya are part of a broader pattern emerging in the region, as an alliance headed by Saudi Arabia, Egypt and Turkey attempts to hobble the ambitions of a rival bloc coalescing around UAE and Israel. Right now, these two blocs remain somewhat informal, and some of the alliances have been scrambled by the Iran war. But they still represent an underreported driver of affairs in the African Horn, with Somalia, long a UAE client, recently cancelling Abu Dhabi's access to its ports due to its fears surrounding Israel's recognition of the breakaway state of Somaliland, not to mention Ethiopia's offer roughly 2 years ago to do the same in return for access to one of Somaliland's ports. The result of all of this is that the UAE is now finding it harder than ever to get weapons to the RSF, with multiple routes now closed. This has left Ethiopia as one of the few friendly countries that Abu Dhabi...
Nope. I don't believe in you. I actually don't believe in you. I believe it or not, I think you're fake.
The Africa report
And it looks like I'm allowed to believe that,
the
buddy.
last natural place to do that. In short, Addis Ababa is entering the Sudanese war both because of UAE pressure, but also because it perceives a growing regional alliance that aims to contain it. One in which all foes like Eritrea are joining forces with Egypt, Sudan, Somalia, and the Tigrayan rebels that pose an active threat.
Bro,
to
you
the
have
GERD
so much hell.
Meanwhile, Ethiopia's leaders are increasingly alarmed by what they see as an expansionist power that's aligning itself with genocidal paramilitaries in Sudan, all while gearing up to attack Eritrea. Unbelievably, we haven't even touched on some of the wider implications of these hardening alliances. Look out, South Sudan is currently descending into civil war, with the SAF backing one faction while the government under Salva Kiir increasingly supports the RSF. Or how the involvement of South Sudan in Sudan's civil war risks dragging in Uganda, which has already deployed troops to keep Kiir in power in Juba. Were a wider conflict to also pull in South Sudan, it would risk merging the Sudan War and Tigray War with yet another bloodbath. After all, it's believed that South Sudan's own civil war ran along the fault lines seen in the countries fighting today was one of the deadliest in recent years, killing an estimated 400,000 people. The time is short, so we won't dig into that right now. If you really want to know more, we covered South Sudan.
Finally, Jesus
For now, we want to
Christ.
end this video by asking what may be the most important question of all. What happens next? Given that 2026's current ambition is apparently to be the new 1939, we'd love to end this video with a ray of hope, the suggestion that actually all that's needed is Abiy Ahmed, General al-Burhan, Hemeti, and Egypt's President Sisi all go bowling together, crack open some Bud Lights, and realize that deep down, the real friends were the ones they made along the way. But given that this is War Fronts and not Everybody Lived Happily Ever After Fronts, you could probably guess where this is going.
That was an interesting sound.
Borders, the pieces are all in place for a once-in-a-generation catastrophe. The potential flashpoints are as follows. Even indirect Ethiopian involvement in Sudan risks a reaction from Eritrea, which could try to destabilize its southern neighbor by throwing its weight behind rebels in Amhara or Tigray. At the same time, Addis Ababa seems intent on finishing Tigray's rebels once and for all. Into February saw the Ethiopian military move
as soon as you fall when you swing your sword.
While widespread fighting never broke out,
interesting.
Theorized
well, unfortunately, I'm kind of stuck in a spiderweb right now. I hate when that happens.
Which would have hindered the army's mobility. Should Addis Ababa ultimately decide to attack Tigray, it seems likely that the SAF might enter the war.
I think we're getting close to the top,
and then there's the alliance between the SAF and Egypt. Should the SAF retaliate to the attacks in Blue Nile State with direct strikes in Ethiopia, perhaps to destroy the RSF?
Am I already? No, I'm
it's
not at the top yet.
Inconceivable that a conflict between the two could lead to Egypt joining the fray. Or hey, perhaps
well, hey, if you guys are just gonna leave me alone, go right ahead. Alright, those are evokers.
Of course, the reality is that none of these flashpoints exist in isolation, and that's what makes this moment so dangerous. Right now, there are thousands of potential triggers all over the region. All it takes is one wrong move, and suddenly everyone is fighting. We may have jokingly compared 2026
if you're just evokers, that's okay.
But in the wider MENA region, it's more like 1914.
Alright, let's go, buddy. Where the fuck are you?
Alliances managed to pull an entire continent into war. Yet even if the much feared mega war never ignites, the recent news out of Sudan is still a grim reminder that the world's worst war continues unabated. This month, April, the Sudanese war will mark its 3rd anniversary. 3 years since a standoff between the SAF and the RSF turned Khartoum into a war zone, with fighting that quickly spread across the entire
What's going on here?
Well, fast forward to 2026, that fighting is still
there we go.
Together, the RSF and SPLMN have fought to...
This is the good shit that we wanted. They're Heart of an Earth. Chip necromancy, love a little necrom. A name tag, I'll take that.
And as the war drags on,
a ruined map. What's this bad girl? Dark oak sapling.
The city of Al Fasher, unleashing a wave of mass killings that may rank among the worst atrocities seen this century.
I'll take an iron pick.
A commonly accepted middle range figure is 60,000 dead in slightly over a week. By way of comparison, it took 21 months for the Hamas-run health ministry to announce a similar body count in Gaza. In short, whatever happens, Sudan's tragedy seems set to continue. A tragedy fueled by outside actors and ignored by the wider world, even as it risks plunging the Horn of Africa into a crisis that would make the Iran war look like child's play. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome, Simon. Shout out to Simon. We love Simon out here. He is the king of YouTube. Honestly, the king of YouTube, if I'm going to be honest here, guys. I mean, look at all the stuff this man has done. He's got a shit ton of different channels, and I don't know. I respect Simon. I think he does a good job on all of this stuff. But anyways, guys, as I said, I think I'll probably be getting off after this. Let's go. We got a waystone and a whole bunch of gold. It's fucking huge, guys. You know what? And I do think this is a good place to end off. You know what I mean? I think this is, okay. Well, hold on now, buddy. You just want to not do that? Hey, it'd be really cool. Like, it would be really cool if you fucking didn't do that, little bitch. Come here. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't like that one, did you? Uh-huh. That's what I fucking thought, loser. Get fucking wrecked. Anyways, let me switch over my OBS scenes, and we'll head back to my house. and we'll upgrade ourselves. This would be a bad idea. Hey guys. So you guys are going to be cool, right? Yeah. You guys don't want to hurt me, right? You want to be my friend. You guys don't want to hurt me. Yeah, that's what I thought. We're homies. I'll remember that, man. I'll remember that. Oh, I actually kind of want some of this bone block, too. Huh. Yeah, this bone block is important. We'll get a little bit of this, and then we will leave, ladies and gentlemen. Having absolutely decimated this stupid little fucking battle tower. Hey, try something a little harder next time. No, I didn't die over 10 times to this place. What are you talking about? Yeah, we want to get all this bone meal. Worth. Major worth right there. Alright, I'll go back down here. Get fucking wrecked, you loser. Ooh, there's a mob head here, too. Probably not worth it. I love the sound of these bone blocks, guys. It's very soothing to the ear. Alright, well, we did it, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, is there an under part at all? No. I was hoping there was a bit of an under, but that's okay. We got a waystone, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a shit ton of gold in our pocket. We got the heart of the earth, whatever that shit is. Looks like we're on top around these parts, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like our luck is finally... The worm is finally starting to turn, ladies and gentlemen. Finally. Leafcutter ants. I'm going to let them eat all of this. See how big of a... anthill they can make. What up, loser? Yeah, come here. I know you're afraid. I don't blame you. I would be afraid of this this absolute based Chad too. All right. Oh, it's one of these little bitches. Okay, where the... I hate those things. It's not just this run they've ruined either. They have ruined multiple runs of mine. Because they suck. They're lame. And honestly, I think they stink. I'm gonna be honest, I think they stink. But we got a waystone, ladies and gentlemen. Get excited. That's a whale. Oh, now we have 2 whales. Oh, that's a white whale. I think the white whales don't like us. Well, that's okay. I'm not afraid of a stupid whale. Oh, jeez. Where the fuck? Listen, man. I don't have time to deal with your problems. Get fucked. Loser. All right. Well, let's put a nice little waystone. I don't know, probably just right next to my bed, I imagine. Yeah, fuck it, why not? Home. Home, sweet home. There we go. Alright, now we gotta decide what skills we're gonna use. Buy a skill point? What is that? Oh, okay, that just does your level. Okay. Alright, we got a couple options here. I'm probably... The enchantment does sound nice. But then there's also... Alchemist. I mean, that's alright. I'll probably go enchanting. Ooh, I could go armor, though. Crafted durability is nice. Fuck it. We'll just start with this one, Enchanter. Boom. Confirm. Alright, armor, enchantment, blocking. See, blocking doesn't... That's not going to do much for me. Alright. +5 damage if I have an enchanted weapon in my hand. So, when I return tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, I am hopefully going to have an enchanted weapon in my hand. We can only hope. We can only hope. Anyways, gang, thank you guys so much for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. You guys are absolutely badass, and I appreciate all the love and support. I will be live later today at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., so I will see you there. Anyways, guys, until then, remember to live, laugh, and lib. Peace.
We're told we're not taking sides. I'm here to take sides. Mladic is a war criminal, the leader of the Bosnian Serbs. He is no better than Himmler. He is no better than Goebbels. He is a war criminal.
I was suggesting we bomb Belgrade.
What's so important about the Western Alliance? NATO for NATO's sake so we can beat our press? What I'm about to say is going to cause me great difficulty if I'm reelected and come back here as the ranking member or chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. There is no moral center in Europe.
I was suggesting that we send American pilots in and blow up all the bridges on the Drina.
When in the last 2 centuries have the French, or the British, or the Germans, or the Belgians, the Italians?
I was suggesting we take out his oil supply.
Moved in a way to unify that continent, to stand up to this kind of genocide. When have they done this?
I was suggesting very specific action.
The only reason anything is happening now is because the United States of America finally is understanding her role. The 21st century is going to be the American century. Because we never bow, we never bend, we never break. We are America. Second